Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. We're going to do a short episode real quick. Just got some things on our minds that we want to throw your way. A little personal life goals have finally been achieved, like level up unlocked, and stuff like that. So just stay tuned for that. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Anthony Trawick.
All right.
You're listening to the Unframe of Mind show, the place to have the most mind-stretching, unprotected, intellectual intercourse of your life. Your hosts battle the forces of evil by lobbing fiery balls of truth, reason, and evidence over safe room walls.
Alrighty, and welcome back. So, Anthony, you said we'll just cut straight to the chase, keep this short for people here. You said you had something. You said you had something on your mind that you wanted to share today.
Yes, I do, Daniel.
Would you like to tell the story?
in
your own words, preferably.
Yeah.
Just ignore the teleprompter and just tell me what's on your heart.
I bought a new car today.
He bought a new car.
Yeah, tell me what we won, Bob.
He didn't win anything. He just bought it.
Right.
Just fucking bought it. Great. Now I got to pay the taxes on it.
I know.
So you send me some
Tax
pictures.
station is
You send me some pictures, and you're like, "Hey, look what I just bought." And I'm looking at these things. I'm going, "Dang, that's pretty. That's a nice little piece of ride you got there."
Yeah.
And you were really excited about it, but it wasn't because it was like, "I got a nice car, bling bling. Look at me." That's never been your personality.
No.
I honestly did not get that's idea like at all. That sense when you sent it to me. So I wanted you to go ahead and talk. You talk.
Well, so I've got a 2009 Mercury Milan, right? And I've had it for so long now, and it's got like over 250,000 miles. It's paid off. Here recently I've had some issues with it where I've had to throw some money into maintenance cost. Right. So there's different elements to this that actually kind of all came to a head to make this whole situation possible. Was the fact that a couple months ago I got involved with cryptocurrency, largely because of you. And so I made some investments, and because of those investments have turned a very healthy profit for me.
Wait, are you telling me you bought me that car with the profits? No. You made so much on crypto. No.
I made
a boy can dream.
I made a substantial amount of money investing in crypto and just knowing when to buy. But what I did was I actually took all the profits that I had made over the last couple of months and put that money into the bank, to the point to where I had enough to put down a pretty healthy, down payment on a car.
Excellent.
Yeah, but there was more to the story. So, originally I had contemplating on getting a a 2000, either 17 or 18 Lincoln Continental. That was a car that I was originally really wanting to get. Okay. But then as I got to browsing for a new car, I came across, a Mercedes, and it triggered this memory of mine that I've had that was, that happened 18 years ago. And I was like, that's the car I want. This is the car I need because of the history behind of what happened 18 years ago.
So what happened 18 years ago?
So 18 years ago, I was working for this company, ended up getting fired unfortunately, I was just a kid, and not making smart decisions and so forth. So I lose my job, and then shortly after I lost my apartment, and then I found myself living in my car for a short amount of time. And that was when I hit my lowest of lows at such a young age. I'm 40 years old now, so 18 years ago, it was like, for me, it was just, I was out to prove the world that I could, I can make it on my own. Right. And life said, no, I'm going to kick you down a little bit and kind of bring you down to reality and show you what the lowest of lows looks like. And that's what it was for me. Ended up living in my car, and I was actually parked in a Jack in the Box parking lot in Hermitage, Tennessee, and I was in the back seat trying to get comfortable so I could try to get some sleep. And to kind of give you the description of what it was like, all my clothes were in the trunk, and I had stuff in the passenger seat. And, we were talking earlier about how you kind of find ways to stretch things such as food and, having to find money and so forth. But I remember laying there trying to get comfortable to go to sleep, and I hear a car behind me.
Sorry to interrupt. You mentioned the going to the laundromat to wash your clothes.
Yeah.
with,
Mhm.
and there was a little trick you discovered.
Yeah, so
That was kind of interesting.
So the local laundromat closed, I think, either at 11 or 12. It wasn't 24 hours. So I would always go 2 hours before closing because I knew throughout the day people would either drop change or money,
Right.
and I would try to find it under the machines or wherever I could to actually wash my clothes. I know that sounds horrible, but it's like you
It gives an insight to the kind of person that, like, you are resourceful. You are a smart
Right.
guy. You just made some bad decisions and ended up in a situation
Right.
that, and not to mention your pride on top of that, kept you from going back home. It is interesting to see that mindset, still kind of that intelligence level, if
Right.
you will, coming up with ways. You always find a way, and I thought that was an interesting illustration of that.
What was it you said earlier? Self-preservation is something that you learn, through hardships such as what I went through, and that's exactly what I did. And we kind of discussed some of the tricks of the trade of having to
Tricks of the trade.
yeah, or
So you're late in this car, and you hear,
yeah. So I hear a car behind me, and I kind of happened to raise up, and when I did, I seen it was a Mercedes Benz, and I kind of laid there and I thought to myself, because you're kind of left alone with your thoughts, and I'm thinking, that's a nice car. I wish I had something like that.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if I did, money would never be an issue. I wouldn't be living in my car. I would probably have a home of some sort, and I would be in a better position. That's what that signified for me. It would signify that I would not be living in my car in this situation. I would have moved on from that. So it kind of gave me some hope, some aspirations, or I guess a life goal.
Yeah, almost
to
became
achieve.
a symbol of you finally making it, so to speak.
Yeah, and I know it sounds kind of cliche, but it's like that was my driving force to say that I've made it in life. Now, I've accomplished a lot in my life. I've owned 2 homes. I've owned some property. My net worth has been, substantial, but then none of that mattered.
Yeah.
It was that moment when I'm laying in the back seat of my car, and I'm seeing that Mercedes. That, to me, if you really want to dig deep down to where it all started for me, as far as my giving back and charity and so forth, was that moment. And for over the last 20 years, I've done so much for others. It was time that I finally did something for me. And it was just like,
Yeah, can't blame me there.
yeah. So, I mean, it was when I got to shopping for cars, Mercedes really wasn't in my peripheral vision as far as what I ideally wanted for a vehicle. And again, it was the Lincoln Continental, but then something it triggered that memory, and I seen this Mercedes, and it was just like,
You just knew.
I knew.
Yeah.
And the one thing I always try to do throughout my life is I try to correlate the things that I've gone through in my past to where I'm at currently in the present. And for me, I love that there's a significance behind everything I do in life. And for me, that's very important because it's a very humbling experience, but it's a sobering thought to know that it's not the money.
Yeah.
It's never been nice things. I don't ever want to go back to that place in my life again. And I will work 5 jobs to make sure that I don't do that. Right. We've talked about the amount of hours that I work now, and it's just, I work it all the time.
Yeah, and you're just perfectly happy doing it.
Yeah, and I am. So for me, it was just, when I saw that Mercedes, I thought back then of the same car. And I'm in a position. I set myself up in a position to where I purchased a Mercedes Benz for the first time in my life.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, it's
Happy for
it's why do I get so damn emotional every time I talk about this?
Because it actually means something to you. This is important to you, and it's first thing I'm thinking of, because I'm hilarious, and we all know this, is that you now have the duty to go drive past homeless people in your Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, no, I won't do that.
You have to. Like, how many of those people are going to see that Mercedes Benz drive by and be like, I need to be there someday?
No, and a lot.
But
of
only because I'm
things-
hilarious. That's the only reason.
a lot of the things that I do in life is what I hope is that it encourages people to see that you can do anything and all things are possible if you just set yourself in the position to fundamentally set goals, save money, do what is necessary to achieve those things. Right. And I've overcome a lot of obstacles to get to where I'm at in life now, even at 40 years old. Was I in a position to buy a more expensive car? To put it to you this way, I was in a position to buy either a Bentley or a Aston Martin, to put it to you in that terms. But I didn't go there. And the reason why is because I wanted something that had a significant purpose and something that was meaningful to me. But also in the back of my mind, I went back to that whole self-preservation kind of thing. Let's not spend all that money. Yeah, let's buy something that's reasonable. Yeah. And still have some money left over.
Yeah, it's nice. It's reasonable.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not just your daily driver back. It's not just, something you buy just because it's what you can afford. You buy it because you wanted it and felt the need to have it. And I get it. I totally get it.
So over the years, I've been around some pretty exotic and expensive cars. I've driven a lot of them. And, and like I said, I was financially able to purchase some of these. And it's like, that's where the rational side of me came into play, because I've been so smart with my money here lately. And it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense to spend over $50,000 to $100,000 for a car.
Now, I wonder how much of that being smart with your money is a part of understanding how money works through learning how crypto works, through the education you received through, you start looking into this stuff, you get a real clear understanding how money works. So you get a real clear understanding of, I probably don't want to spend all of it. Right. There's actually some incentive to save some of it. Let it continue to work for you. Basically, that's one thing that I learned is that wealthy people do that poor people don't. Is poor people work for their money, wealthy people let their money work for them. It's just and it's a difference in mindset, really.
It is, and I think sometimes the people that become the wealthiest individuals are the ones that have hit rock bottom, such as myself. Because you always have it ingrained in your mind that you never want to go back to this place. You never want to, end up in that situation again. And even if I did, and this is something I want people to understand, is that it's temporary. See, back then, I didn't know that. I didn't have the mental capacity to tell myself, okay, Anthony, this is temporary. Yeah, to an extent that I did, because at some point I had to realize, okay, I've got to get out there. I've got to get another job. I've got to do something, and I did. So for me, that's the recent events that have currently gone on in my life, and I bought a 2018 Mercedes-Benz C300. So
with that being said, we got to talking. We want to do a special event. We were wanting to do something with all of our other YouTuber friends and whatnot. Right. And what came up in that discussion was that, we think it'd be really cool to do something to help homeless people or homeless vets or whatever the case is. We're still kind of formulating it, still kind of brainstorming what's this series of events going to look like. But the ultimate goal is cookout and care packages
and a marathon
for people. And one of the ways we were going to do that was to run. We thought about doing a 10-hour long marathon, Unframe of Mind marathon, not a running marathon. Probably not going to catch me and Anthony out there running 22.5 miles or however long it is.
You can forget that shit.
But doing like a 10-hour marathon with, we have special guests come in. We reminisce about old episodes. We basically use it as a way to help build donations, build up a financial base to be able to then take that money and go help other people that are in a similar position where you once were. Yeah. And we're gonna work with a number of local businesses is the general plan. Nothing's set in stone yet. Right. This is just something we literally were talking about an hour ago before we clicked record. Right. So we wanted to ask you guys, what do you think? Is this something that you guys would be interested in seeing? Is this something you would be interested in participating with, whether it be you happen to live local to us and you can help us with time, or you can help us with, however much one of these care packages ends up costing. Maybe you buy one of those or two of those.
Or maybe even it's just coming to volunteer to, to help delegate things, to cook or to clean up. Just the service of your time. Obviously this is a charity event, so you're not going to get paid for it other than a full belly and and meeting some great people.
Yep,
So
obviously you get fed.
right. So for me, it's just. We were talking earlier. I've been, it's crazy. I've been doing this for 20 years of my life. It's half my life.
Yeah, right. And then Anthony's like, yeah, and I'll give rides to homeless people in my Mercedes. Like that's you. I don't know why you said that. That was really weird.
Right. Like I really ever say some shit like that.
Because I'm hilarious. We know. So yeah, just to cut this not super long, but just basically that's kind of the gist. We wanted to give you a little background, kind of where this idea even came from, and if it's a good idea and if you guys would like to help with that, let us know in the comments section. Share this with your friends and families and help us spread the word. And if it seems like we're gonna get enough support for something like this, then we will make the plans and we will let you guys know, and we will promote the shit out of it and make sure you know when we're going to have that 10-hour marathon, and obviously when we're going to have the final event. After that.
I would love nothing more than take the 20 years of community service that I've done and get as many people that I've worked with over the years involved in this, and just make this something truly remarkable and special for the community. We've often talked that, the changes that you see in your life start within your own community.
Yep.
If you're going to talk about it, be about it. That's exactly kind of where I've always been. You got to witness a little bit of what I've done last year during the the tornado that ripped through my hometown. So you kind of have an idea of what to expect. Not so much on a grand scale, but like that.
I'm looking forward to it. This is, everybody benefits. I think everybody benefits. The community is benefited. Whoever helps gets to have that good feeling of, hey, we actually did something that was worth something, rather than just sit on the internet and bitch about politics all day.
Yeah, I just, I hope everybody, gets a chance to participate in some way, shape, or form. And if you're able to give up your time and monetary things and some sort of donation, that would be very much appreciated from both of us and for those involved.
All right. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode. And
we're out.
You got something witty to
No.